Good evening and welcome to another edition of the World of Tanks Pro League with me, Paul Red-Eye Chandler. Alongside me, of course, is Stephen Snee Neal. Got a couple of surprises for you this evening. I think you might like one of them in particular. And we are here after the league has finished. You might be asking, what the devil are you doing back already? Well, good question, because the league finished last week in extraordinary circumstances. I almost feel like we should just show you the last 30 seconds of the last game of the end of the league season in the fifth and final map between Dragonborns and MYM. Dragonborns, of course, snatching that one at the death. And they now go off to DreamHack, which dumps MYM down into the relegation playoffs, which is why we are back for another week of World of Tanks Pro League. This is the final week of it, promise you, of the regular season anyway. Still got the finals to come at DreamHack, exactly. But it's the up and downs week. So we've got 4 teams gunning for a place in the World of Tanks Pro League this week. 2 from the A Series, 2 from the Go 4 Series, and they go head-to-head with 4 of our regular teams that you've seen in the last 22 matches of a very, very long season. First up tonight, what we got?
We got Evil Panda squad against OM Injection, and the second game tonight will be 7 Sins against Meaty Makers. Yes,
interestingly, the 4 teams that are going to try and vie their way into the Premier League playing 4 existing teams, it's a winner-takes-all situation, so if you win the best of 5 this evening, that's it, you're in the World of Tanks Pro League Season 2. So a big game for some of these smaller teams that have come up into this. OM Injection from Germany, of course, bidding to become the second German team in the league. Dragonborn's already confirmed as being in it for next season. And we have 2 more German teams, amazingly, on Thursday night at 7 o'clock Central European time, also battling to try and get into the league. So we can have 4 German teams in the league, which would be incredible, because the other team tonight, 7 Sins, are from Poland, and we already know about the Poles. They've lost one of theirs. Actually, they've lost 2. They lost 2. Because they lost Lucky Cracky and 1SPP, so they need to replace one.
They do. And but it's going to be hard, because I'm going to be facing MYM.
Indeed.
And they was actually, as you already said, a couple of seconds away from qualifying and staying in the league.
And it was mere seconds away from qualifying for DreamHack. But that's how thin the line is between victory and defeat. Evil Panda squad also, they finished level, but finished in 7th place thanks to the count-back rule in the mini-league. So they don't go to DreamHack either. So I think both these teams tonight, Evil Panda squad and MYM, stronger teams than perhaps some of the teams in the league. Yeah. And if they were to lose, that would be a big shock.
It would be. No offense to the smaller teams going this way, but Evil Panda squad, MYM, been around since nearly day 1 in World Tanks Esports. Quite surprising that it's quite a big surprise that they're not in the Pro League for, well, at the moment, not in the Pro League for second season. So it's definitely going to be tough.
But 3 maps and then they're back in again. So you know, could be straightforward, or it might be a bit tricky. We'll see. Before we get to that first match, though, we do have a special guest this evening, I'm pleased to say. And, well, I was going to say something there, it's probably inappropriate, so I'm not going to say it anyway. And I think he knows what I was talking about. But anyway, meet the new Melly, everyone.
Yay, and it's definitely a sexy upgrade here for the relegation, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm not suited and booted like these guys, because it was a kind of a last-minute thing. We're like, oh, wow, Melly's on holiday. We should fix that. So I was like, you know what, guys? Monday evening, I've been bored all weekend not getting to commentate or do anything in front of the camera, so why not? I'm here as your social media queen. I did, in fact, write that myself on Facebook.
I'm glad you said that and not me.
Definitely a queen, a big queen. But, you know, it's not much of a downgrade. In fact, some of you may even feel that it is somewhat of an upgrade coming in tonight. And I'm also a lot more generous than Melly, which is great for you guys at home. We've got a bunch of invite codes for you tonight, which are 1,000 gold, 7 days premium for new players, but also for those of you that are already rolling in World of Tanks, we've got a bunch of codes which give you 300 gold, a day of premium, and the M3 light tank. If you enjoy driving that thing around, then good for you. But all you have to do, of course, just like usual, ask us any question you want over on Facebook at World of Tanks or WoT Pro League, and also, of course, in the Twitch chat. I'm in there. I'm not called Melly, sadly enough. I'm not even called Joe. I'm just ESLTV_WoT, but I'll be keeping my eyes on that the entire time. So make sure you're keeping your eyes in there. Ask us any questions you want, and I'll be throwing some bonus codes around as well, just because I'm such a nice guy.
Good guy, Joe Miller. That's what we like to see. This is going to be a bit funky this evening. I'm not used to this, having Joe in here, not sitting next to me. I might have to swap them around. Are you lonely?
Eh? Are you lonely without me?
I am lonely, mate. You know me. I mean, we've got a bond, haven't we? And you know, it's an unbreakable bro bond of commentators.
Should I leave or something?
Oh, hi. Sorry, Steve. I almost forgot that you were with us. But yeah.
So my feelings.
Yeah. Well, it's good because Joe doesn't try and steal things like rings from me. Whereas this guy, it's all about the pressures. And he does.
I'll try not to.
Yeah. Also, when I do the mines joke, Joe gets it. It's only taken 15 weeks for Stephen to get the mines joke. Because every time he said mines, and I'd go, mine.
Well, at least I got
mine. And he would just be like, why does he keep doing that? It's so weird.
And he never pulled you up on it because he's such a nice guy. He was just like, I'm just going to let him carry on with it. We'll just figure out later what he's actually meaning with it. Old Red Eye getting senile.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, probably that as well. Thanks very much, Joe. We'll check in with Joe regularly throughout the evening of these up and downs and find out what you guys have predicted. And as he said, he's going to throw a load of bonus codes at you just in case. Just to keep you sweet, you know, good guy Joe and all that. So thanks very much, Joe. I suppose it's time for game one.
Looks like the team's ready.
Yeah, so let's get ready to rumble. You might have noticed that there was a little bit of a boy band troll going on before the show started, so if you were tuned in early.
Who's the DJ today?
Yeah, that would be me. So yeah, let's get ready to rumble was another one of those boy band references. And I'm going to get as many as I can in through the commentary, so see how many you can pick up. Right then, I suppose it's probably time we dropped you into the game. For the tank picks for game number one, you might notice something a little bit different about this game. Unfortunately, the way I've had it explained to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, okay? But the way I've had it explained to me is that the tournament accounts are given to these players to specially play, obviously.
Yeah.
The regular season guys have had theirs for a while now. I think it was like week 8 or something. They've had them for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And therefore, they've got a chance to rename and what have you. These guys have not had the time to rename them.
They didn't. The thing is, we didn't know until the end because the A series and, well, especially A series was still open to the end as well, and many things could change. That's why we can't repair our accounts early. And as soon as we got the teams, we got the accounts set up. But renaming the accounts takes a while because of the server restart, and that's when the names appear. So for now, we have to stick with tournament account. I think these are 140 to 147, stuff like that. But we can rock this one. We can put it off.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we don't have the players' names, but nevertheless, we will do our best to bring you the action between these two teams. Of course, OM, where have they come from?
Today we've got OM Injection, and they actually came over the Go for WoT season ranking. And the other teams, what we have. So also over the Go for WoT ranking, we have Wusa. We'll be showing them next on Thursday. Sorry, yeah. And Team Hunt's Underdogs, they went through straight away. They finished first, well, kind of first in the Go for WoT season ranking, just because all the top teams are either in the European Pro League or in the Russian Pro League.
Good.
And that's why.
Glad you pointed that out, because I was mildly confused.
Yeah, so we got we got the Red Rush and Red Grai in there. They're not in the European one, but they're in the Russian league, so they can't also play.
So Huns are Dutch, right?
They are Bulgarian.
Or Bulgarian?
Yes.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, sorry, Hungary, even. Oh,
Hungary.
Yeah,
yes.
these three countries. I keep getting the flags mixed up. Yeah.
Indeed.
And they are, and I think they are hungry for some Pro League.
Oh, don't go there, Mr. Neil.
So, first game of the day will be OM Injection against Evil Panda Squad. So,
yes.
Evil Panda Squad 7 in the ranking.
Yes, they were 7th. They were tied with 5th, 6th, and 7th with 33 points from the season. 11 games won from their 22 matches. And unfortunately, that wasn't quite enough to get them in. They did win their final game of the season as well, which relegated Lucky Karaki at the same time and gave them a chance of making it in. But unfortunately, the other results just didn't go their way. Had they gone their way, had MYM, for instance, won that game, then that would have changed things in the top 7 as well. So, lots of things, but that's all in the past, all in history. And we are ready for tank picks, and we've kicked off with some fairly standard tanks so far. We're going to kick off on Himmelsdorf, so we've got T1 5100s from both sides so far. Wouldn't be shocked to see that happen again in the next round of picks.
There we go. And saying that, CNF already caught the next 5100 in T1.
Yes, and you'd probably expect the same from OM Injection as well.
I have to say, OM is a former... no, Dragonborns used to be in the OM community, so they even know each other.
Okay, they've gone for a slightly different... I wouldn't expect them to be wildly out, but they've gone for a T1 and a T32. So 2 T1s in there. I'd expect the 5100s to come back through towards the end of the picks. That's just 2 rounds so far. IS3 is also in, this time from EPS. They've also gone with another 5100, so triple 5100s from them. Let's wait and see what we get from OM Injection. I would imagine 5100 will come in from them, and probably an IS-3 as well. And what do you know?
It's quite surprised that they already gave away the T-32 that early in the picking.
Again, we've spoken about this, you know, during the season, haven't we?
Like, these are the tanks what can change, so you want to keep this pick to the end and rather show the tanks what you will have anyway, when everybody knows what you're going to pick. So quite a bit of a surprise there. Wondering what their last pick is going to be. Maybe number 5100. Could be another IS-3. Yeah.
Looks like Zinef's actually going to pull out another IS-3. So they've gone double IS-3, triple 5100s, two T1s for EPS. That's a very standard lineup for them as well on Himmelsdorf. And just waiting to see whether we get another IS-3, which is what I would expect to come out for OM Injection, or whether they're going to go for something crazy.
Other possibilities could be 5100 or a T69.
Yeah.
And not so there's three tanks I could live with, say this way.
Yes.
If anything else comes,
that would be
it's going to be quite a surprise.
Another IS-3 anyway. So yeah, double IS-3, double 5100, double T1, and just the odd one out being a T32 for OM Injection. And T32, not that unusual. It's probably the rarest of the Tier 8 tanks that we see in regular use on Himmelsdorf, but again, not that much of a surprise.
All right then, so we're ready. So look at the T's ready, and then we can just kick this one off. First map today, as you already said, Himmelsdorf. And yeah. Silence.
It's golden.
It is.
Don't try and speak in the silent bits.
All right. This is really hard.
Yeah, see, I knew you wouldn't be able to hold on to that.
Just makes you nervous.
I don't know. Right, here we go then. Map number 1 of the Up and Downs, OM Injection versus Evil Panda Squad on Himmelsdorf.
OM is actually, or the OM community, the OM community has several teams in the esports scene, and usually they're pretty decent on Himmelsdorf. That's why I'm wondering how they're going to perform here. Looking at the lineup, at what they have in OM Injection, it looks like it's the former OMV team, and they had a period where they was actually doing really good. And then they dropped a bit and was kind of a medium team, and now catching up and being one of the top teams in the Go for What series. It is it's a big achievement, because there's many top teams around all around Europe playing in the Go for What. So being one of the top teams is definitely, and they even managed to end higher than Spale in the Go for What ranking.
Yeah, and the thing is with it, what it'll also have done is given them some experience. It's not like they're coming out of an amateur league straight away,
no.
And then into. That's weird. My keys were sort of strange there. Yeah, finish what I was going to say. Yeah, coming out of an amateur league and straight into this game without having any experience against some of the Premier League teams. So, yeah, they know that. They can work on the strats that they've seen before. And they've started off, I'm following OM Injection right now, they started off by sending the T1 across to the hill. And actually what they've done is loaded up into the derelict train station all of the other tanks, just bar one, which they've left right at the back of it. They have spotted Mickey Man across that far side for EPS, who look like they've gone for a bit of a standard setup here.
They're actually doing exactly the same. They've got every single tank over on the left-hand side. We see Ice and Tomasz both on the corner in the G line, and all the other tanks just sticking a bit behind. What's quite good from OM is that T32 on a standard position, because it has an awesome hold-down position, and that tank is kind of undefeatable there. As long as he sits there, he can't be killed, until somebody drives around the corner. But driving around the corner is going to take so much damage to actually reach him that he's kind of he's taken out the free line all the way out of the game, and that's a really good choice. We used to see this quite often, and then it kind of dropped them because IS-3s came more into play, and then the whole game, meta game on Himmelsdorf went more to the right of the map, and now, well, both teams heading to the left, so it's quite a good choice here.
Yeah, OM pretty static to start things off, not taking any wild risks at the moment. As you can see, they've got two men sitting towards the back. Another Tier 8 tank just a little bit further forward, that 5100, and right next to him, that T1 inside, trying to spot down the line. They have managed to pick up Zinef here, and Eclipse has been spotted here as well. Now, can they pick up the first bit of damage on these two? They are going to start firing off any moment now.
One shell already hit the train. Lucky for Zinef that he just got around the corner, getting out there without taking any damage. So it's fine for now. We actually have a small T1 engagement maybe up on the hill. See Sky Spirit just slowly heading up there, spotting the other T1 from OM on that hill, but so he's just going to stay safe for now.
Yeah, OM have pushed their T1 up to the top of the hill, and as you can see now, he's literally just spotting. He hasn't decided to go and take the risky game round the top of the castle, and instead is just literally going to stop anything coming in. You can see down below there's nothing whatsoever going to be able to come up there, so no crazy strategies from either team on Himmelsdorf. We've seen this game. This is almost like a Week 5 Pro League game, as far as I can make out. It's been a long time since I've seen the two T1s just facing off at the top of the hill, and instead all of the other tanks going over to the far side at the 2 and 3 line.
But looking at the situation, you can actually already see the difference between pro teams and other teams, because this Tier 1 is actually driving with his front up first.
Yeah.
And usually they drive up with the back of the tank first.
Yes, and there was some damage done onto Mickey Man. He's down to 20. Only has 115 to start with, of course, in that T1.
Did manage to spot nearly every Tier 8 tank from OM injection on the other side, though. So he's done a good job so far. Should just stay alive for now. And here comes a push. Evil Panda squad are 5100s are pushing forward. The both Ice Freezers staying back for now. I think they're not sure what's going to happen if they might get flanked.
Yeah, well, Zinef is trying to make his way down. They've got that line of 3 tanks making their way down the 3 line right now. And there is one tank, that T-32, waiting for them at the bottom of this. And it just depends whether he's able to get off shots quick enough, because I think he's a sitting duck right now. He's already lost, 19% of his health, so 3 more shots will probably kill him off. 2 if he's lucky. Tries to land some damage. Actually, that one whistled over the top of the turret through the archway. Now, here they come. New multi-shell is going to push forward here and just needs to fire off one shell. He's got a Clips right behind him. Zinef just behind him as well. And EPS just getting a little bit spooked by the fact that they have that T-32 behind. Again, another shell flying through the archway, and again he can't get any damage off. And again, New Moldy Show backs away. It looked like he was going to come around the corner when he heard the first shot, but I think they're just trying to bait him out into firing off some shells so he can reload.
Yeah, they don't know what's around the corner, so they can't just charge around there blind. But we can see here from the angle that the T-32 can actually keep on looking through here. He's trying to get a shot onto Ice, but Ice is doing it perfectly. He's waiting until he backs off, shoots his shell, and before the T-32 can aim, he's already back in cover then, so he's fine for now. He's just hoping for a lucky shot maybe on the T-32, do a bit of damage, and yeah, that will be fine. But at the moment, T-32 is pretty safe. Tormash is coming around the corner now as well, so the T-32 is really boxed in. If you reverse too much, it's going to take a shot. If you drive forward too much, it's going to take a shot, and there's no way he can leave this position anymore.
Yeah, he is pretty much boxed in there from either side, as you can see, from the left and from the right, and will take a little bit more damage to the rear of that tank. And New Multi-Show, I think, will have had enough of him by now and will start to push around the corner any second now. More shells fired off. New Multi-Shell firing off now. Around the corner comes Tomash and does land another quick shell. And that 32, well, he might as well go out and try and land a shell himself, and doesn't manage to. Yes, he does. Does get one off against Tomash. But the first Tier 8 tank is down, and Ice picks up the first kill.
Right now, all tanks from OM have been spotted. They are coming around the corner. It's a bit too late now. Their T-32 has already died, and they should have been there early, because Thomas managed to kill the T-32 without getting punished for it. So he just could go in the open, finish off the job, and then retreat again. And now Ice is doing exactly the same. He's just peeking around there.
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you look at OM right now, they've got a nice 4-tank stack here of all their Tier 8s in a row. But, at the moment, not landing any damage. They also have a man in the cap circle right now, and with a minute remaining, they're going to have to send a couple back.
Yeah.
They're going to have to send something back. I mean, they've got the T1 Sky Spirit who can go back.
And he is actually doing that at the moment, but it's going to be hard because he has to drive around the church.
Yeah, and 45 seconds left. Well, he should be okay, but they're going to engage here. New Moldy Show takes a double shell, and will get the third one get blown away. So New Moldy Show is down. Eclipse has now taken some damage here, and EPS are in a bit of a bit of a pickle, frankly, because the angles favour OM Injection, though they're losing players now. And new multi-show, the first to go. Are they going to lose another one here? Zinef and Eclipse, both very low on health. Ice comes forward. He does land a shell now. And if he can get another one to this 5100 at the back, who's covered by the IS-3 nicely, and they do decap. So...
yeah, that was really nice doing from Sky Spirit. Coming out with a nice angle, not taking too much damage himself. You only have to connect one shell.
Yeah, down to 26 points of health now. Just tickle him. And that one will have the tracks falling off him. And Sky Spirit has been destroyed. Now, that's a big move because they're going to recap now. They've got 1 minute and 30 remaining. And EPS are losing players. They've got all 4 of their tier 8 tanks intact. But they're going to have to send one of them back to the cap circle right now. And it's going to be slow going. Now, wow, double tank destroyed, 3 in a row, all gone down. And surely EPS now going to push home. They're going to have to try and rely on the fact that they can get back to the cap circle. We've got 2 men left inside the base. Both of them will be dead with a 1 shell. And they've also got this T1 in the cap circle right now. He's the last hope, really, for them. And are they going back, Stephen?
One AMX50 is heading back to the base. He should be able to decap in time without any problems. You can see he's just getting around the corner and should spot the T1.
This is going to be dead straight away.
And really good done from Evil Panda squad. OM only had to buy time long enough for that T1 to cap. And because as soon as they bring 1 tank behind, they will be outnumbered. But they managed to, Evil Panda squad managed to kill enough tanks and damage the 5100s enough that they can't peek around the corner anymore. Because as soon as they do so, they'll take the final shot. There we see Ice finishing off the first AMX5100, and the second one should follow pretty soon.
Well, he's going to try and counter-cap this, but there's only 48 seconds remaining, so there's no point in him heading down towards the... and then gets landed. Nicely done by Zinef, who was on the move, and does land the final tank kill for a 7-3 victory to Evil Panda squad, who I think it would be fair to say showed their Pro League class in that game.
It was looking close at one point with the tank capping, and if that T1 would have managed to stop the, I think it was Sky Spirit. If he would have managed to stop Sky Spirit actually decapping, they would have lost the game. So this was really crucial for them.
There is a record in the World of Tanks Pro League that I'm not sure if you're aware of the record. It's 3,597 damage, okay? That's the most we've seen on one player in any of the televised games this season. It's just been broken. 3,977 damage for 3 kills from Ice.
That's more than double of his HP.
That's ridiculous amounts of damage from him. So nearly 4,000, highest of the season from Ice. Admittedly, wasn't in the regular season, but hey, all counts.
Still counts.
Indeed. It'd be probably a good idea to check in with Joe, I think, right now, and see what he is getting from the community. I don't know if you've had anything through from the community yet, Joe, have you?
Actually not. They're being pretty rubbish tonight. I'm not sure if it's because I'm a man. They're all a little bit apprehensive. Guys, I don't bite. Only if you want me to.
Easy.
But you can ask me questions that I'll obviously feed to these guys. We did have one, which was from Petty, and it was a troll, asking why no one ever uses the AMX40 duck, Stephen.
Because
it's got tank.
For its tier 4 light, it actually has decent amounts of armor, and it's sloped, but it's about as fast as me running at the side of Usain Bolt.
Probably.
What,
you might be even faster.
Is that in a 3-legged race?
A 3-legged race?
Yeah, where you tie yourself to Usain Bolt and you run as fast as him.
That'd be really dangerous. He'd just drag me on the floor at the side of him. I think that's what would happen if that happened. But guys, if you want any questions answering by, me for what I can give you, or, more our lovely 2 men over there, Rene and Snee, don't forget you can do so in the Twitch chat or on Facebook or on Twitter, both /WoT Pro League. And don't forget you can still vote for who you think's going to win this first game. We still have time. It's only 1-0, and we'll be giving out some more bonus codes. I'll also be throwing some in the chat as well, because, as I said, while Melly's not here and we've got a load of codes, might as well be generous and give them out.
Yep. Make hay whilst the some things are away.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that? You're from Sheffield, Joe. Come on, you must have had that. That must have Yorkshire saying.
When the cats are away, the mice will play.
Well, that's one of them, yes.
I feel really young.
You feel really young?
Yeah, because I have
so
no idea what you're
Having
talking
Joe
about.
on the show, I feel young too. It's very good.
I think generally Paul's feeling young when he's around other people.
No, you should be feeling really old then.
Old. I have no idea where I'm going with this one.
Okay, do you want me to pass the shovel over this way, or dig out the hole? Or
dig in the hole. I'm always digging that hole. But guys, make sure you do that, because otherwise I'm just sat here twiddling my thumbs. I'm already trying to keep you entertained in the chat as well. We have some questions coming in there which I don't think need to be answered on the show. So if you've got any serious questions, you know.
Good. I like that filter, because Melly doesn't have that filter. We just get all the questions.
Yeah,
and the chat says, Red Eye, when you go to sleep at night, do you wear your socks? Really?
Do you?
No.
Stephen?
I do.
See, I don't either.
I hate the feeling of...
What is that? Why would you wear socks to bed?
I hate the feeling of the blanket on my feet and that.
I can't even believe we're having this conversation right now. Thank you very much, Joe Miller.
Actually turned out to be more interesting than some questions we've answered on previous shows.
Thank you very much. We will pop back in with Joe throughout the evening, as I said earlier on. It's time for game number 2, and tank picks don't appear to have begun just yet.
I have nothing to chat over, but...
No, a bit confused about what's going on in chat right now, but we'll get Stephen to fix that. I hope that OM Injection don't think, oh, that's it, we lost. Game over.
Yeah.
They realise it's best of 5, right?
They should know.
Good. I hope that's the case.
They voted the maps, didn't they, so...
True. Good point. If you do love your World of Tanks, and we know you do, don't forget that in just 2 weeks' time, it is the end-of-season championship finals, live from DreamHack. Can't believe it's here already. It's just 13 days away.
Yeah.
And we will have the round of 6 to be played out. I know it's an odd number of a bracket thing, but bear with me. The 4 teams from 3rd through to 6th, battling it out against each other, 3 versus 6, 4v5. The winners of those 2 games will go through to the semi-final of Season 1's Grand Finals to play Synergy and Virtus Pro. And they're not Synergy anymore, they're Team Dignitas.
I have to correct you there, sorry.
What?
It's double elimination.
Oh, no. What? Really?
Yeah.
When did they change that?
Because...
You can't just change the bracket on me.
It was... I forgot to inform you, maybe.
Unbelievable.
Because actually, they're both winners.
How would you do bracket, double bracket?
So,
what?
It's going to, as you said, 3
I was confused on Thursday with the maths. Don't start now.
No, 3 versus 6 play against each other, as you said, and 4 versus
5. So I've got that.
And
them
right. two winners play against each other, and the winner that goes through, and then the 2 losers from the first 2 games play against each other, and the winner from that plays against the loser from the 2 winners.
Oh my goodness!
And they go through.
Okay.
I've got a paint picture.
So it's double elimination, but only for the 4 teams in the playoffs.
That's right.
Gotcha. That makes more sense now. And then the winners of those go through to play Synergy and Virtus Pro, but they aren't Virtus Pro and Synergy, they're Virtus Pro and Dignitas.
That's right. And then in the semi-finals, we're going to have another best of 5, and then the finals, we're going to have best of 7.
Okay, cool. We are ready for our tank picks for map number 2, so let's drop you into that. Just a quick word to those of you last week who created all those funny pictures. Thank you, by the way, firstly. Very fun, very interesting.
It was a good one.
Didn't enjoy all of them, I must admit. But apparently Joe Miller did enjoy them.
I'm actually going to do another contest today for game 2, so stay tuned for that one. We're gonna spice things up here tonight. What you need, get it already ready, is a pen and a paper and something to either scan it in or take a photo of it, because I want to see your hand-drawn goodness later today. It's going to be fun.
I'm scared.
Oh, dearie me. I'm very scared.
There was one picture that was really good.
The GIF?
Yeah, you blown up the tank.
The GIF, gold armor.
Yeah.
Gold shells.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was really good. I like that. But only because when they did the back of the shot, it does still look like them. I don't know how they did that. That's really clever.
Is the camera there? No, we're fine.
No. Don't know how they did that. Anyway, tank picks have begun. And OM Injection have kicked things off with a T1 and a 1390. We've moved on to Airfield, by the way, map number 2. Much more open, expansive map, but we do see some relatively stale games on it, has to be said. There's only a couple of teams who've been very dynamic on it. Lucky Karaki springs to mind. Spale springs to mind. Unfortunately, both of those times they were very aggressive. They lost.
We had one aggressive game from Dragonborns.
Yes, we did actually.
And
You're
they
right.
just pushed through and actually won it really convincing.
Yeah, that was the one weekend when Dragonborns decided they would do everything they hadn't done in the rest of the season. They spent 19 games being very passive, and suddenly that week it was like, right, okay, everything's out the window. We're just going to do completely new strats.
But I have to say something here. Spale. I think they worked out how many who had the most draws in the season,
Yes.
and it was Evil Panda squad.
Really?
They had even more draws than Dragon.
Okay, but we haven't seen all of those. I mean,
right,
the
yeah.
most amount of draws on the TV shows have been Dragonborns by quite some distance as well. We've got a T2 light and a 1390 for EPS. Not surprised to see that T2 light come out. They do favour that on this because I think we might see a Tier 7 artillery.
That's right.
In the form of the Lorraine. 1390 and 5100 for OM. So neither side revealing their artillery just yet. I think that OM, like us, will have guessed what EPS are going for. Though.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go for a T-71. It just won't make no sense taking a smaller tank on this one. So there you go.
So GW Panther is out on the board, and that is a Tier 6. So it'll be double T2 lights for EPS, you would assume, and a T69 alongside.
It could be also a T50-2 if I can recall it right. I think we had some lineups with a T50-2 and the GW Panther. See what they go for. Wondering if OM will go for artillery as well. They have a good artillery player in their lineup. Unfortunately, I don't know if he's fielded at the moment.
His name would be tournament number 143.
Yeah, that's probably him. Yeah, you're right. So then we're going to go for an artillery.
Yeah. Nothing yet. But
Do you know what? We forgot it again. Predictions.
oh, are we doing predictions this week?
Come on, yes. Even though we haven't seen.
I'm going to go with EPS 3-0.
I'm going to. Damn it. 3-1 then.
See, I love being first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a messy weekend as well with predictions. They did not go well. I now have to wear a T-shirt at the next IEM because I got screwed with a bet that I made. And it wasn't with Carmack for a change.
Just one other thing as well, of course, over on the WoT Pro League Facebook site, we've been asking everyone at home who they think's going to win this first game. It's a little bit one-sided right now. I'll just say that only 6 people have voted for OM injection up until now.
Okay, and they've got, what, 7 players?
Someone's not been doing their job on that team.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, like, come and find that guy out and tell him. Go and vote for us now on Facebook.
Maybe you already voted for EPS.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Traitor. Trying to fix the odds. Thanks, Joe. Good little update from Joe. So we continue with the tank picks, and as we expected, it is T2 Light and a Lorraine 51 on the other side for OM injection. But EPS are going to go double artillery, and they're going to put the Bison in there as well. So that's thrown us out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not an unusual pick for airfield. We've seen it before.
And you know what? Guess who's driving the Lorraine? Tournament account 143.
Told you. I did my homework on this.
Awesome.
Been that guy.
Oh, you're so awesome. You break so many things, but some things you're just like, wow.
No, I only break things of a technological nature.
True, yeah.
And finish brains.
And tanks.
Of course. I mean, you know, finish turrets.
Things like that.
I break that using mind tricks.
Internet connections, all kinds of stuff. You had it all. But for now, nothing seems to be broken, so we can kick this one off.
Which is good. Final tank picks are in. We've got 1390 from OM and a T69 from EPS. So double artillery versus Lorraine artillery, which you could argue is not all that much different. It's 8 tier points against 7, but as we've seen before, the amount of damage done per tier has always favoured the Bison. It's time for map number 2. It's Airfield.
Airfield, actually, I'm not sure how many times OM already played an Airfield. It's one of these maps. It's not played that many times, and it's actually a Pro League map, so we have to see how they're going to perform against Evil Panda Squad, who actually have the experience from a whole season, 22 match days. Not sure if they've played every match on this map, but they have definitely played a lot of times on this map. So let's see how they're going to do this one. Evil Panda starting in the west. In your opinion, the winning side?
Always. Yeah. West wins. It's always the way of the west on Airfield for some reason. I don't know why it keeps working out like that. They're not particularly biased. It's not the most heavily biased spawn map we've seen, like Wide Park, for instance, but it just seems that that's how it pans out. I don't know why.
And talking about biased Wide Park.
Is that the 5th and final map? Or
no, but that's what Dragonborn managed to win from the south side.
Oh, yes, of course.
And qualify
yes,
for...
indeed. So we kick things off with IM Injection sending one T1 across to the ruins. He's not going to go that far, though. He'll probably stick back towards the first side of the pooled river. And over on the right-hand side towards the runway, they're going to send another T1 headed off into the bushery. And they're making actually a very quick push here with their tier 8s. They're just flying up there. Have left the artillery back on D0 right now, so he's nice and safe. And have managed to get the T2 light up onto the right-hand side. There's already a little bit of damage going into that middle area. And they're really, really aggressive here. They're going to come right in on New Multi-Show. He's already lost 2 big shells landing on him. And this is an incredible push from them. I mean, we said they didn't know the map, but they are going to claim the first kill of the round. And that's going to be on New Multi-Show. I wonder if he knows what even just hit him right now.
That's right, but now that they have the problem that they are in the middle between all EPS guys, and 2 tanks already going down straight away. Next tank will follow pretty soon.
This is going to be fast. This is going to be very fast. They've lost 2 very quickly. Zinef has picked up 1. Zinef gets a second one down here. Ice picked up 1 in the middle, and it's an absolute graveyard of tanks right now as OM do pick up 1 on Zinef after he's already claimed a double. They're going to lose him pretty quickly as well. Those tracks are destroyed on that tank. Might have a repair kit in there, but he's still stationary. Oh, no, he is going to move now. And look at Potomako storming round the side. He'll land another shot. Ice does go down, though. Here comes Potomako for the finishing shot. And he's got to take a little bit of cover. Actually, he's taken some damage, and he's trying to reload right now. So 2 more shots. Oh, didn't land the third. He might go down here. He does go down. Incredible. An OM Injection have hung on by grim death, but finally gets shot down. And that was from the GW Panther. Thanks very much, Sony. And in comes the Lorraine to destroy Tomash. So we're now a 2 versus 2. And guess what? 2 artillery left versus 1 artillery and a T1. Well, have you ever seen anything so extraordinary to finish off the game?
It's going to be hard for Evo Panda Squad now because the T1 can spot while the artillery can just aim, and on the other side, EPS has to use 1 artillery as scout. There's no way they can do it.
Ice says MVP, my arse. Yeah, well, he didn't have a particularly good game that time round, did he?
No.
Just the 1 in that one. He also holds the record for the most amount of tank kills in a game this season. He had 5, which is the most we've seen in any of the televised matches, I might add. But right now, we're tied up at 5 tanks apiece, and we're not quite tied up on tier points, but it is a draw right now. And yet we have 7 minutes remaining. Incredible opening 3 minutes.
It was.
Never seen the likes of it before on airfield.
It was just like, well, screw this, we're going to kill him. Charge forward, kill 1, nearly died themselves, and then still managed to survive the reload, or survive the clips, and then start dealing damage back in the reload.
I think Potomako will be disappointed, actually, because he really should have landed a shell before that, and he would have then been the difference between the 2 teams as the last surviving tier 8 tank.
Also, Tomash should have killed the Lorraine. He drove in front of the Lorraine, and that's the position where you don't want to be against artillery. You want to get on the side or behind it, just make sure you can't turn towards you, and then do the damage.
I think this T1's going to go for the cap circle, you know, and put some pressure on here.
Yeah, looks like it.
And he might as well. There's plenty of cover inside that cap circle.
And the clips came too late there. He could have spotted him, but he got too late to the position where he could have spotted him, and now they're going to be quite surprised as soon as that cap starts.
Yeah. So OM do have the cap in play. And as you can see, they've left their artillery all the way back. That Lorraine's got 7 valuable points of power, and he'll try and pick up anything that comes into view. Right now, it's going to have to be a very good shot indeed. So 2 artillery remaining, as you can see on your screen right now, from Sony and Eclipse. All they can really do from there is try some blind shots, I guess.
Eclipse is going to try to spot, but as soon as he spots the tank, he's going to be spotting himself properly, and then he's going to get killed.
Here's the other thing. Eclipse can go in here and die, and it won't matter to the score.
And the other side, a T1 can die, and it also won't matter.
Indeed. Oh, and he has spotted him now. Now, can he manoeuvre himself round and get the shot off here? Lines it up and does get a shot off, but it wasn't successful. And he goes down to the Lorraine's artillery. So this is not looking good right now. OM just need to hold on here. They've got 40 seconds remaining as the last remaining man comes through, does try and land some damage, but misses somehow. How on earth has he missed? And brilliantly, then the Lorraine comes in to blow the last man up. And OM Injection have won on airfield.
As we said at the beginning, they have a good artillery player in their team, and he has definitely proven that he is one of the good players in this game. taking down two tanks at the end.
Yep,
These
he
are
also
not
got
that
four.
easy.
Four overall for 1,723 damage in that Lorraine. So did his job absolutely brilliantly and has won them the second map. It's 1-1, ladies and gents. OM Injection 1, Evil Panda Squad 1, and this isn't going to be quite the run-through that we thought it was going to be for the polls.
No, it looks like I'm right here. I'm liking this. I'm enjoying this.
Well, enjoy it while you can, because you rarely have got one right through the rest of the season.
I know, that's
Let's be fair.
why. It's a new feeling for me.
I can't really complain either. I've had quite a few wrong this season as well. It doesn't look like the community were wrong. Joe, what do you think?
Well, it's actually really hard to call now. I actually had one question ready for this one, which is from a new player, so I thought we could touch on it a little bit, which was, why do the games start out so slowly and then explode into action? Now, Airfield...
Normally is like that.
Luckily, we've got a 10-minute delay, so we're 10... or you guys have got a 10-minute delay, I should really say. So we're 10 minutes ahead, and someone asked in chat, it's really slow to start, and I literally wrote, just keep your eye on the game, because this time around it definitely wasn't slow to start. Now, I guess we can answer it with the fact that it comes down to each individual team's strategy, what they feel the other team's going to go, and some teams will throw that spanner out there to go, okay, we're just going to push straight away, going to go for it.
And I think that's what we just saw, wasn't it? It was an extraordinary push there by OM Injection. As we were speaking about earlier on, when we watch Dragonborns play Airfield, we always get a slight sort of tinge because we think this is going to be a bit of a passive, dare I say it, boring game to start things off. There's a reason for it, and I don't dispute the fact that they would play that way, but that's been usually the way we've seen it played. But then what they did really well was that just on one game alone, they just suddenly went, you know what, we're going to switch it up. They're expecting us to be passive, so now we're going to be different.
There's a thing, like, you can either do surprise attacks, and that's what we once saw from Dragon Balls, that's what we just saw from OM. But if you do too many surprise attacks, you're not surprised anymore. Then you can prepare.
Yeah,
so, like, every now and then you throw a surprise attack in there, just do a fast push, but usually it's more like, where the enemy positioning, where should we position, where could they come, where do we have to cover, and this takes a few minutes of the game, and when they've finally figured out what's going to happen from the other team, that's when they're going to start preparing their push, and as soon as that's all prepared as well, and that's when the push comes, and that's why from slow, you got the slow curve, and then you go straight up, and then it's finished.
Yes. Also, Joe, I don't know if you've had any updates on the Facebook model right now as to who's picking OM Injection. Have we had any more of an increase?
Well, they're up to 11, but I think that's just the ratio of more people now voting as well, as they realise that they could. Actually, Evil Panda Squad are up to 126 to the 11 of OM Injection right now. That might change, though, since they just won that second map and we're now tied at 1-1. Don't forget you can do that on facebook.com/WoT Pro League and also on Twitter as well. Make sure you get in there and follow us on that. But if you've got any questions for either me or Red Eye or Snee, then, of course, you can ask them in the Twitch chat, and we'll try and get some of them answered in between the next maps.
In a Time Lord fashion, by the way, as well, because we do have a time machine here at ESL, if you weren't aware. We do go back 10 minutes, so things that you asked 10 minutes ago, we answered 10 minutes late to you. No, does that... Yeah, what? I'm Doctor Who and I don't even know it.
Mine again.
Yeah, so mind equals blown once more. Thank you very much, Joe. We will check in back with Joe after this next matchup and see how this one goes. We're all ready for tank picks, so map 3 is about to begin, and it is on Mines.
Bad map, really bad map, Mines. You know, you have until end of the DreamHack.
Switch things up on me now, are you?
Yeah, you have until end of the DreamHack.
Oh, what?
I told you, it's the end of the season, I'll live with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the end of the season is kind of DreamHack, isn't it?
Right, okay. So, yeah, tank picks have begun already, and EPS have started off with the T2 1390, T69, and the GW Panther. They really do like that GW Panther, that
it is a strong
tier 6 artillery. Good on mines as well. We've seen it used very effectively. OM Injection have gone for a T1 and a 1390 to kick things off. So presumably they won't be going for the GW Panther, more likely a Lorraine.
Thing is, the GW Panther is going to be knocked up to tier 7 next.
And I don't think it'll be used. I don't think it's as good as the Lorraine on the same tier level.
That's the thing, but the Lorraine's going to be knocked up to tier 8. So you need a new tier 7. So you can use the same lineups. Instead of taking Lorraine, you can go for the GW Panther then. So I think we're going to see the GW Panther even more, and then going to see the Lorraine be picked less, because that's 8 tier points, and I'm not sure if it's really worth, like, there's not many teams that would actually commit with 8 tier points.
I don't know, I disagree. I think if you're a good Lorraine player and you know how to get the best out of it, even if it's a tier 8, it just means instead of taking a T2 light, you take a T1. And really, the difference between the two? negligible. 115 health, 150 health, slight speed increase. I mean, really, T1 and T250, it's the same. It does the same job. It's a scout tank, and it's still a scout tank, whether it's a T1 or a T2.
You have a point there, but I'd also agree that on some maps it could be a good choice, but on other maps, especially open maps, all you have to do is charge forward, kill this one tank, and get your T50-2 out, for example, on Prokofka, and it's 8 tier points different. So it's always a kind of, it has to do the damage, and sometimes
sometimes it hasn't. You're right about that,
and that's why it's always risky. But I'm sure we're going to see it every now and then, but not as much as we see it at the moment.
Okay, tank picks have gathered a bit of pace here. They were a little synergy-like for a while, but now they've gone back up to a more sort of Virtus Pro level of picking. T69 GW Panther, as we said, for EPS. They followed that up with a 1390 and a Bison. So double artillery again from them. They've also added a T69 in the last round pick. OM Injection, meanwhile, gone for a T2 Light and the Lorraine 51, as we expected, and two 1390s. The difference for them is we have a little bit of Chinese in play. WZ132.
I like that. Again, every time
always a fan.
Yeah, every time a team picks his tank, I always say that's a good choice, just because.
Do you know the longest period of time between a tank being picked and not being picked this season? Here's another mind-blowing stat I'm going to throw out.
Probably like 20 minutes from Synergy or something.
No. I meant from a tank appearing in the league to not then appearing in the league. Do you know what the longest gap is in matches?
No.
14 matches.
Was it the WZ as well?
The Chaffee.
Oh, the Chaffee.
We haven't seen it in 14 games.
It's not surprised me, to be honest.
But we saw it a lot to start with. It was almost, we were like, oh, look, there's the Chaffee. Sorry, there's the coffee.
True. Yeah,
there's the coffee.
They'll get the names mixed up. But I don't want to sound a bit like arrogant or something. But I always said at the beginning.
You said it was rubbish.
I said it was rubbish.
You did say it was
And I was keep on saying I don't know what a team's using. And I haven't been proven right.
And the man that won his team a place at DreamHack, Magus, said it was great.
And everybody was kind of convinced it was great at the beginning. It was the replacement tank for the VK28. But I was saying, I can't see it, guys. Prove me, and I'll be happy. But it looks like they can prove themselves. So it's not being picked anymore. Yes, got something right. Got a prediction right.
So we're ready. Teams look like they're ready as well. Just go through the lineups once more. OM Injection lining up with three 1390s. T2 Light, T1. That Chinese is WZ132. And the Lorraine 15551 as their artillery. EPS starting off with double artillery, the Panther and the Bison. That was me mixing up the two of them together. That's probably like an Archon, isn't it? It's the Python double artillery. 1390s doubled, T69 double, and a T2 Light thrown in for good measure as well. And here we go then. Map number 3 is mine.
Yeah, starting off showing the Italian village as normal. We always need to see that nice village there. I wonder if you can get good pizza there. Probably
I think you can probably get some really nice paella in those Spanish villages. I think they serve the finest Spanish country wine.
Sounds good. Italian do good.
Go on, spit it out. Go on.
Do good wine.
It's okay, ladies and gentlemen. Your stream is not stuttering. It's just me.
It's just me. They do good wine. God,
they do that, don't they?
That was hard.
They do.
They do. Wine good Italian. Yeah, man.
Right then.
Game starting off on mines.
We are underway in map number 3, and EPS still need 2 to win. That's a mark of respect, if you like, for OM Injection, who won map 2 with a very risky but brilliantly executed strategy on airfield. And we've kicked things off here with 4 tier 8 tanks all storming up to the high ground in the mid area, but Zinef is already in place at the second rock and has this one covered as he spies 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks all going through, all spotted.
They are crazy, but one artillery shell did connect right onto the WZ. He's down to 150.
It was almost 1,000 damage on that one single shot.
Oh, that was a bit of a big shot there at the beginning. You don't want that happening because that's 1 tier 8 tank already out of the game there. Not even an autoload as well. So if it would have been an autoloader, you could leave with it, but on the WZ, it's hard.
Already lost 1 as well. That's the tier 1 T1 gone. And as we switch over to the far side, that means they've just got that T2 Light over there, who's hiding out at the lighthouse just to secure that position. And we look all the way back, you can see the artillery at the back as well. Let's have a look over onto Evil Panda Squad now.
The T2 Light from Evil Panda Squad will face the other T2 Light. It looks like their T2 Light is prepared better though. Let's have a look who takes the shots. First shots, shot towards Tomasz. It's getting away pretty good though. And it looks like he's just going right for the artillery. He's not caring. You already spotted the Lorraine artillery here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's going to come all the way back round. And yeah, the other T2 light now has realised that he's had his track disabled and just slowed down enough by Tomash, who now comes round the side. Oh, they've got another man coming round here. The Tier 8 tank comes in towards the bet and does pick up the kill. And that's really well done, considering that OM had already lost him down to 150 health. Here comes a little bit more damage done onto the artillery, who's down to 248 right now. And remember, that's only a Tier 2 my mistake. It's a Tier 7 Lorraine back in the cap circle right now, and is already down to, what, 60% health? Not a good start.
But in the meantime, OM did realise that they was pulling back some Tier 8 tanks, so they saw the opening, just pushed down onto the AMX 39. He was on his own in the Italian village to kill the Tier 1
and
took him down.
This could be curtains right now. New multi-show right now is going to zone in on these. There are 3 of them there. One is the T2 light. New multi-show does take a little bit of damage behind that second rock. And then in comes some damage onto OM. So they've got these 3 tanks in the mid. Oh, didn't quite go down, just left with 34 points of health right now. One's got 292, one has got 150. I have no idea how they're going to be aggressive now on mines. This is surely going to be lost for OM injection.
It's definitely going to be a tough one here. New to show, he's just got the middle. He's nice and safe there. The other side, they're both AMX 90s, or there's actually only one there at the moment. Took quite a lot of damage themselves as well, and now Zenith managed to get up the hill. T2 Light did take down the Bison though.
Okay.
And he's heading towards the GW Panther. Let's have a look at
this isn't over just yet. And again, OM playing this really well from long range here. Again, new multi-show has taken a bit more damage. These two, look, these last 2 tanks coming around the side. And Ice is going to be down there. So is New Multi-Show, and he's faced the wrong way. That turret is the wrong side, my friend. That's not going to work for you. You need to spin that round fast. He's not going to be able to do so. New Multi-Show goes down. They're down to 3, and it's 4-2 right now to OM Injection. And they've got a chance of leading this one. Oh, dear. This one's not good, though. Zenith does come in, finally does pick up the kill. Also, another man down on the other side. We're back to 4v3 right now as they hunt down the last couple of players left in play right now. Here's another one. A little bit of a ram comes in there, down to 30 health. Zenith picks up the kill. Ice wasn't able to steal it. And we're now all square at 4-4. And just looking at the tier points right now, what do we got? 8, 15, 17 plays 22. So not enough just yet for either team.
That's right. It could have gone really good for him if the WZ would have managed to connect the shells. Shells just missing Ice and Zenith, and these shells were crucial. Now we see Zenith heading towards the Lorraine artillery, and he shouldn't have any problems killing it, but he is spotted, so can be a tricky one. Lucky for the Lorraine that the GW Panther is in trouble, so he can't just start aiming towards the Lorraine. He has to make sure that he stays alive against the T2 lights. So he's kind of out of the game now as well.
Oh, look at this though. Right now, there is a chance here for this T2 light just to come around the other side. Now, I don't know, that's a proxy. He knows he's there. So it's just whether he can find his way around here and take that one shot. Or are they going to bring in reinforcements? They are, you know. They're going to try and bring in that tier 8 Chinese tank into the mix here and see if they can pick off this artillery and win the game.
Actually, the WZ is heading towards...
Oh, no, you're right.
He's
heading the wrong way. Yeah, my mistake.
Because the Lorraine artillery, he's ready for the AMX 4090, but now the WZ has been spotted, and he has to watch out.
Yeah, he does have to spot out, although he's got a little bit of damage off here. Here comes the Lorraine round the corner, and that'll be an easy kill for the GW Panther of Sony. And now they've just got 2 men remaining right now. The WZ's down to 150. And the artillery in the Lorraine is down to 248. They're sitting ducks right now, both these two. And again, this game has ebbed and flowed backwards and forwards. For a moment, you thought, well, EPS have got this, no problem at all. Then you thought, oh, well, hold on. This could be interesting. OM Injection have got a chance here. And then it went back the other way, and now EPS are the big favourites to win. And huge favourites right now because Ice does pick up one more. The artillery's disabled tracks as well, and that'll be an easy kill. There was no repair on that. And that is GG, and EPS pick up map number 3.
That's right. It was looking really good for Ice in that position. I was just wondering why he took his time there. He could have just dropped down. He had enough HP to survive one shot from the WZ, kill him, and then just look towards the Lorraine and take him down as well. But rather go for the safe route, just in case. You never know what happens. And, yeah.
There we are then. 2-1, 3 maps down, best of 5. for a place in the World of Tanks Pro League. Yes, that's right. One match, winner takes all. You've seen playoffs in football, and they get much bigger than this as far as World of Tanks is concerned. The winner of this will play in the World of Tanks Pro League Season 2. If it's EPS, they get their second consecutive season. But if OM can make a bit of a comeback and win the next 2 maps, they will take their place in the World of Tanks Pro League. So a lot on the line right now.
That's right. And a lot of pressure onto Evo Panda squad, just because they are the Polish team, maybe even, after Mousesports. Now, Mousesports has actually taken over them, because I'd say until end of 2012, Evo Panda squad was the Polish team, and now Mousesports managed to just...
usurp them.
Yeah, they are just dominating now, and especially in the Polish scene. So, but being number 2, still a lot of pressure onto you. You have to stand up to it, and it's not looking easy for them. It's not as easy as we thought it would be.
They're not making it easy, OM Injection, and that's why we've got such a good game. Joe, any reactions via social media?
We just hit 2,000 likes on the World of Tanks Pro League Facebook site,
people.
so thank you very much for that, and continue to follow it as well. WoT Pro League on Facebook and on Twitter as well. And you can still vote for who you think's going to win this one. Even though Evil Panda Squad is just 1 away from victory, you never know. You might want to vote for the underdogs. I know a few people have changed. Someone posted in there, I've changed my vote to root for the underdogs. Not sure it's going to win you a code doing it that way, but it's always nice to see the support. 17 to 147 is what we currently have in the vote there for Evil Panda Squad. And don't forget, you can still throw your questions in there. I'm putting out some codes as well as we go through the game just in the chat, so those of you that are fast enough, get hold of them. But as per usual, I'm being flamed because they're only single use. You can't give free stuff away without people complaining.
What do you expect, Joe?
I don't know.
Did you expect anything different?
He expects like a statue or something built for the community.
You should do that for him. Actually, I challenge you now. Joe might have a challenge for you a little bit later, but I challenge you now to make a GIF with Joe Miller as a bronzed statue.
Oh,
okay?
that would be awesome.
Oh. That'd be amazing. Or a gold statue if you prefer. But something in that region. Let's do that and cheer up old Joe for doing the social media for us, because he's been good guy Joe tonight, come in and stepped in for Melly, literally stepped into her boots, and...
You don't want to see the boots.
Trust me, you don't want to see everything. I don't want to see the bottom of that. Yeah, good guy Joe giving out bonus codes. So erect him a statue right now. Thanks, Joe.
No problem. You say like it's a bad thing that I've had to come in here. It's like I actually didn't have to. I said, Stephen,
I know.
Are you going to be missing Melly tonight? And he said, yeah, I'm really going to be missing Melly. A bit of a tear in his eye. So at that point, I was like, don't worry, mate. I've got you sorted. I'll come in and I'll do Melly's job. And now he's a happy man.
I am.
I wondered, actually, why the top of his jacket was all creased and crumpled and a little bit... So he'd obviously given you a bit of a hug when you said, I'll come in and help, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, OK.
You don't want to go too deep. You don't want to go down that
Something like that.
Romance in the air. Thanks very much, Joe. Again, we'll pop back to Joe at the end of the game and see what you guys thought of the match and who got it right. I think there's quite a few of you going to get it right tonight, that's for sure. And the bonus codes will continue to go out as well. They will be single use. Don't be so grumpy. We know who you are. We know where you live. Right then, move in to number 4. Map number 4 is going to be Abbey. Actually, tank picks have got underway, so let's drop you in right now for those. And as you can see, tank picks so far.
Yeah, we have the T1 and a 1390 from both teams as first pick. And straight away, we already see the Lorraine. Called quite early. Bit of surprise there. Match with the T2 Light, and Evil Panda are going for the T69 and the Bison. So starting off with small artillery, might just stick to the Bison, or we saw quite often they went for the Bison and the T71.
Yes.
Or they could go for the double artillery again, but I think it's going to be more like the T71.
I would think the 71 suits Abbey. Double artillery on Abbey is not going to work from what we've seen so far. So if we see anything other than the 71 or any Tier 7 tank, which you know, the 71 is the standout, but any of the Tier 7 tanks would be what we'd have expected to see. Tank picks continue with a 1390 5100 for EPS, a 1390 and a T32, which seems to be the OM Injection's preferred tank.
On him and stuff, I could live with it, but
on here,
on Abbey,
weird.
You got bad terrain, so you can't build up speed in a heavy tank. You can use the strength of the T32, was obviously the turret in some positions, but
hold that thought. Double T32.
All right, now
I'm really freaked.
Yeah, now I'm confused. I don't know what they're going for. They probably will be sticking around the mountainside.
Well, it's either genius or flawed. We've said this before. As we expected, EPS do come out with the 71.
And one side is good, though, because they don't have much artillery. They only have the Bison.
Yeah.
It can do good damage. We've seen that many
Yeah,
times.
I know it can.
But it's a heavy tank. It's not a French tank. It has armor, so it's not going to be that easy for the Bison to do the damage.
It doesn't have any reverse gears.
As well. Well, the French tanks
we had to get at least one French tank joke in tonight, didn't we? We haven't done one of them for a few weeks. And yet been presented with so many opportunities. So, yeah, 71 is the final pick. We're ready.
We are ready.
And OMI are ready.
Omi.
And so are EPS by the looks of things as well. So, we should be able to get underway fairly shortly for map number 4 on Abbey. And I'm not going to curse this one, because I did that before and we all know what happened. So, map number 4 is the beautiful Spanish village of Abbey.
That Italian abbey up there on that hill, really, really nice design. We actually even see some statues there.
Do you know what the funniest thing is, right? We've been doing this for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's almost seamless. Joe has no idea.
No,
he sat there, he hasn't even spotted it once yet.
Yeah, you look just...
See, look, he's frowning. We'll tell you at the end of the game, mate. It's all good. Nothing you're missing out on, promise. Right then, last few seconds of pre-game. War face on, as far as ICE is concerned.
They posted a photo before the game started, and ICE met somebody from OMI, and I think they were they had a good night, say that way. And this is a photo of them too with their war face.
It is a very social community, World of Tanks, which is great to see. And we get underway on Abbey, number 4. And we've got a 3-tank... No, make that a 2-tank, because they're going to leave a T1 at the back here. Well, that's going to be an unusual position. Let's just go down and see... Oh, hello.
Where's the Snee Hill?
Yeah, he's not going to use the Snee Hill, which is over there. And instead he's going to take up a slightly unorthodox position in the corner bush behind the cap circle. I've seen that one used before, but okay. Whatever floats your boat, whatever works for you. And they've also sent 2 tanks out on the right-hand side pathway, which is a slightly unusual route to take, because they generally stack tanks let me just show you, sort of around this sort of area here is usually where they stack tanks, but sometimes can push them to this corner here. And as you can see, that's quite a decent sight line, although no spots so far.
On the other side, Evil Panda Squad actually all committing to the right-hand side of the map, but they're staying together as they're staying together as team, and that's a good thing, because looking at OM's spread, they have 2 T-32s on the left-hand side, the MX-39s in the middle, the artillery in the base, so the artillery is really exposed as well. He's all on his own, there's nobody there to defend him. While Evil Panda Squad, them all together, and that's the way you want to roll on this map, in my opinion.
Oh, hello, what's going on here?
Talking about spread tanks.
Yeah, IM injection have got a very spread right now, although they're just going to bring another one of these over to back up the 2 that were on the right-hand side. And we've got, a spot in the middle here from 1, and does land some damage onto Zinef, who was a long way away. That was a really nice shot.
He was indeed, managed to connect 1 shell there. He's safe for now, but still has 1 shell damage. Artillery shells are coming down onto Zinef now too, but should be fine. But should think about backing off there, because he doesn't want to poke up there again. Artillery looks like he's aiming in this direction. As soon as he gets spots again, he should take a lot of damage. And he did try again, wasn't spotted from OM injection, so lucky for him. Not much happening at the moment on the map. Eclipse is starting to roll forward slowly, backed up with a T-71. Tomash is right behind him there. And he might drive right into the MX-39, depending on how far he's going to drive. Might just want to peek around his corner. Looks like he's going to be a Bison. He has Bison on his tank. But no, mate, you're not a Bison, you're a T1, so see what he does.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've got a little bit of movement here on the far side as well. IM injection making a commitment here to the 2 line. T1 just about to join the 2 1390s up ahead, and the T32s are also there as well. So the T1 did spot one of the OMI players coming towards him, and that might just check their run a little bit.
Yeah, but he didn't spot the bottom 3090.
No, he didn't.
And Tormash is quite exposed for him now.
Here we go then. So 1390 in towards the back of this area right now, and will easily spot this T1. Eclipse is just going to have to bundle himself off the side here and go on a bit of a suicide mission to the bottom of the river, although he's managed to get away from there relatively easily, actually, and the artillery comes down far too late.
Yeah, he's fine for now. Just, he looks like he's a bit stuck, though, so that T1 is kind of out of the game for now. And that's good. That's one good message. You don't have to kill him, but in the meantime, that T1 didn't manage to collect enough information. They knew two 39s are there, and now Potomac is slowly pushing forward, already in the cap circle, or near the cap circle. And lucky for them that they did get their Lorraine out there. The T2 Light is the last tank in the base, just doing a spotting job. And again, that's taking away a bit of speed here.
Yeah, you can see him moving in towards the cap circle right now. And will get blown away by Potomaco in the 1390. So easily and nicely done.
Shells are flying left and right next to Potomaco. He should get out there in that for now. T32 did try to do the damage. Didn't do such a nice shot as against CNF at the beginning of the game. Now Ice joining Potomaco. I think they're waiting for the right angle for the right moment. The problem is they don't know what's happening in the hill on the hillside anymore. Their T1 can't get up there. He's too far away. So he would have to drive once around all the way around the map. Could get killed doing so. So that T1 is kind of useless at the moment, and the T71 also not even close to the hillside. And that's a tricky thing, because you don't know, are they pushing me or are they defending? Can I start capping his base, or do I have to go back and start defending myself? And they only know until the moment comes where the cap starts. And as long as they don't know what's going on, it's going to be hard for them to decide to push here.
4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining of map number 4 here on Abbey. And just a reminder, if you are just joining us, welcome to the World of Tanks Pro League Up and Down Week. This is where we find out if the top teams in the A Series and the Go4 League this season have got what it takes to join the World of Tanks Pro League for Season 2. Win one game against one of the World of Tanks Pro League teams, in this case Evil Panda squad, and you are in. It's as simple as that. And EPS, having finished joint 5th, unfortunately weren't able to make it to DreamHack as that shell falls just a little bit short. You saw it on the side of that 32 and didn't do any damage. And as we were saying, they had a great season, EPS, in the end. Finished 5th, joint 5th, but unfortunately on count back in the mini league, finished 7th overall, therefore just missing out on a playoff spot at DreamHack. And that's why they have to play this evening. But they are the hot favourites to win this week, as are MYM in our second match of this evening, who go head-to-head with another Polish team called Seven Sins.
That's right. Talking about this T1 being useless at the point where he was, but he did manage to get a nice angle to practice what the T32s, and one did take some damage. And now the cap has started though for OM injection. 2 AMX 39s there, and it's only one T71 is going back to the base. I don't think he knows what he's facing there.
Yeah, well, they have 2 1390s back in the base right now. They're flagged all the way in, but they've decided to stop the cap just yet. I'm not so sure. I think 2 of them in that cap circle, with the kind of distance they have right now here on Abbey, could have won them the game.
I think I was a bit worried that that T71 was just spotting and the artillery will start decapping.
But on the other hand, 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Why not just go for it now? It's a risk, but then see now they've got an ally base capture on the other side, and that's going to mean they scurry back towards the cap circle at the other end of the map. I think they should go and do the counter cap here. 2 in the cap circle together will give them an advantage of the speed will be halved.
That's right,
but they're not going to do that.
They actually are falling back. They might even go for the T71 in the middle, but taking a lot of damage heading there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was the right decision.
No, I don't think this is the right thing to do at all right now. And they've put 2 in the cap circle now, EPS. They're going to go for this.
That's right. Tanks are heading up the hill now as well. Ice and New Multishow.
Yeah, and look at this. Look, we've got a standoff right now. And the point of this is that actually time is now running out for OM Injection because they need to get off this hill. They're going to have to go for this at some point, or they're not going to get back to the cap circle. They've got one man flanking. It's T1 that's down there, and they do take some damage. Now, Ice does pick off 2 good showers, 3 good showers. Now going to have to go back and reload here as well, despite the fact that Ice has gone down to, what, 612? They will pick up the T1. The T71 has now gone down. And are they going to get back to this cap circle? The answer is no, and that's GG.
That's right. Ice job wasn't to kill the tank. He could have died as well.
Yeah.
Only job was
it
buy
was
enough time.
Just to buy the time,
yeah.
Stop him from getting back to the cap circle. We see those kind of victories so infrequently in the World of Tanks Pro League, where they actually cap. I mean, all right, someone's going to go, what about last week, Red Eye? What about on Thursday, when Magus did the whole thing? Yeah, I know. But out of the whole TV shows we've seen all season, I think I've seen 3 full cap games.
Yeah.
And one of those wasn't a full cap game either. It was 100, but it wasn't quite 100. Not in the real world and all of that. Are you surprised that they've fallen victim to that? Because that seemed a bit of a, dare I say, a bit of a newbie mistake to get caught out like that.
Yeah, you could tell they have some skill.
Yeah.
They have a lot of skill.
Yeah, they do.
There's these small things that actually make a difference.
Yeah.
Like in this situation, they focused 239 was dealing with one T71 in the middle. Just ignore him. Drive past him then. Or either counter cap, like you said, or just ignore him and start heading back to the base. Because that T71, he can't kill you.
No.
And if you just waste too much shells, you're going to lose the base. So rather lose one tank, get one tank back and decap.
I mean, if OM Injection wants this back, you have my full respect for the way that you play the game. Because there is no doubt there are skills there, but little bits of nuances of strategy missing, which is the difference, I guess, of playing every week against some of the best players in the world. In the World of Tanks Pro League, that's the difference in experience. So we will be seeing EPS back in the in the Pro League next season, of course. Congratulations to them, 3-1 winners, and Stephen Neal gets his first prediction of the season correct. At the 23rd time of asking. What?
I'm going for a beer later just to celebrate it, all on my own.
Buy yourself a beer.
Cheers,
me.
This one's for me, man, because I've done a good job today.
Yeah. Okay. Let's find out who else has done a good job today and predicted a correct community win, Mr. Miller.
Lots of people.
Not a surprise.
That is basically how it's gone today. Lots of you predicted absolutely perfectly how this one was going to go down. And I'm actually going to pick someone out of there right now and say his name, or her name, maybe, on air, just to have your moment of fame.
Awesome.
But while I just pick that one out, we do have here an interesting one as well. Who do we think is the most improved team throughout the World of Tanks Pro League Season 1?
I'm going to say Lucky Karaki, just because if you look at their first 7 weeks, they had 0 wins in 7, and in the last 7 games, they won 5 of their last 7 games. And I know they ended up getting relegated still, but still, the fact that they came so far from being so far behind, I think they would be, for me, one of the formed teams.
I'd say Dragonborns as well. Because they started off at the beginning, and I have to admit, no offense to Dragonborns, I would never bet money on them qualifying for the DreamHack.
Okay.
And for me, it was like, yeah, they're a good team, but they don't stand a chance against the over top. Like,
see, I was the different way around. I was sort of like looking at them as always being a bit of a mid-table team, but I think their position was exaggerated at times because they were always a game or 2 or 3 games back. So you always saw them under 6th place. They were never quite up in 4th or 5th place. But even when they had games in hand, they were 5th or 6th. So I wasn't actually that surprised to see them.
There's many games where like the last blow was kind of missing. Like, there's so many games where they lost 3-2 and that, and I was like thinking...
Yeah, well, usually, and Marcus, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure he will, usually if they went 2-0 up, that was a bad sign for them because they would lose 3-2. If they went 2-0 down, that was a good sign for them because they would usually win 3-2. Too many of those games almost cost them a place at DreamHack.
Yeah,
they did. So.
And now qualifying is, for me, kind of a surprise as well. But also, Lucky Cracky, that they actually managed to... In this ranking, it says that I'm on 10th with them actually on 11th because of the mini league. That they managed to nearly stay in the Pro League.
Nearly.
They were really close.
Yeah, it was really close. I mean, they gave themselves a really good chance of staying in, and second to last game when they played Alpha, but then unfortunately got relegated in the end. So that would be mine, Lucky Karaki.
See, that was a good question.
It was a good question.
5 minutes of discussion. See? That's what happens when you get a Joe Miller sat in this seat. Congratulations to Tim Baverstock. Sorry if I'm totally butchering your name there, me old cocker. But you, in fact, won the code for today. So if you send me a message on Facebook to WoT Pro League, let me know if you're a new player or an existing player, and then I can send you the right key. Actually, right now, apparently the World of Tanks website in Europe is, in fact, down. Or certainly been very, very slow. So no one can redeem keys, which is proven to be a little bit of a problem for giving them out in chat, because it doesn't necessarily mean if you're fastest, you get it first. So I'm going to work on a little bit of a different system for that. But what we're going to do is set you a little challenge here. As I said earlier on, pen and paper has to be ready. You know, one of these and one of these. I know a few of you guys only use computers these days, not like us old school, you know, paper killers, or tree killers is what I meant to say.
Tree huggers.
And what I want to see is your best tank drawn on paper with a pen or a pencil, I suppose, will be fine as well. Then take a photo of it, or even scan it in if you're feeling all cool, and post it onto the WoT Pro League Facebook site, and then we'll go through some of them later. And then I'll pick 3 of the coolest ones later on, and we'll give you a code away as well. In terms of, you know, the whole problem with the website right now and giving away stuff in chat, I'm not going to do that anymore because it seems a little bit unfair. So I'll figure out a different system in the break, and we'll be able to give you some of them. And also, don't forget, you can vote for the second game that will be coming up here in just a few minutes. I'll put that poll up there as well, and we'll be picking another lucky winner from one person who guesses it correctly.
And to the one guy, thank you, Joe, the one guy in the chat who said, ESL gives codes away when site is down. Good job. Not really our fault, man. Not really our fault.
That's what I'm talking about.
Not big, not clever,
We
not
destroyed
funny.
the page.
Yeah, we purposely, because we were going to give we were going to give codes away tonight. I personally decided to take one of the World of Tanks Pro League pages down. It's just what happens, right?
Scumbag Red Eye.
Scumbag Red Eye.
There's one good thing is, if the page is down, you can use the time to go on the WoT Pro League page, check us out on Facebook and on Twitter.
That was a seamless link there, and look at that. There's a lower third just for it as well.
Let me just check that we read it down.
Right, we are going to take a very short break, and when we come back, we will have 7 more deadly sins than we had before, or will we be meeting our makers? We'll find out who makes it through to the World of Tanks Pro League Season 2. We'll see you soon.